So this is Joshua Hart from JTH Boxing, and today I'm joined by Michael Mckinson. Michael, how are we feeling?
I feel good, live from Rome. I'm fighting tomorrow in my 25th professional fight. Had the weigh in earlier. Now I've got a nice full belly and I'm happy. So yeah, all good.
So obviously, one thing well, first thing I want to ask is, what was the reason for taking this fight in Rome? Because obviously it's gone a very under the radar. Like a lot of people in the UK don't really know
Yeah,
about it. Like, what was the thought with you and your team to go out to Rome for this fight?
yeah. So tomorrow night when I fight, this will be the fourth time in less than a year I've fought. So four times within a year. Nice and busy, which obviously I like to stay nice and busy. Um, People that know me know that I've spent three camps in Rome. We've got a good relationship with a few of the Italians over here and stuff like that. My dad was actually born in Italy. My dad was actually born in Italy. Um, so yeah, we come over quite a bit for training. And when there was a show, and a teammate of mine was originally fighting on this card. Unfortunately, he did, and he's actually retired from boxing now. But I was like, for me to stay busy, like, I don't want to sit about waiting for that phone to call for these opportunities. So this fight's kind of like an investment in myself. I know the big fights are there and the big fights are going to come, but I want to be ready for them big fights. I want to stay busy, stay active, stay nice and warm, and then, hopefully the phone rings for something big. But this is a like unknown guy from Brazil. Uh, Big knockout records, dangerous guy, but they're all dangerous, at this level. And so yeah, I can't take my eye off this guy. He's going to be coming. He's going to be coming with a lot of pride. He's going to be coming and knock me out. So I know I've got a task ahead, but we're looking for them big names after, and like that's what I want.
Obviously, you've already had one of the big names, and obviously last year you had the experience
Mm.
going over to the States and facing Virgil Ortiz. What was that whole experience like, and how did the offer come about?
At the top, the offer came about 10 months before the actual fight. And
Really?
November last year, I got the text. I was third or fourth by the WBO, and obviously he was number one. So on paper, it was always like, oh, we could actually get a Virgil Ortiz fight soon. But it came about, and I said yes. It was a great opportunity, life changing opportunity for me. Started training the end of November because I was originally fighting him January 21st. That got moved back to March 19th. And then fight week, we was in LA. Me and my team was in LA. Did all the medicals, and he pulled out with rhabdomyolysis. So he had to withdraw from the fight. So I fought a replacement, Alex Martin, very good fighter. Got my US debut. Everything was great. We had a lot of people from where I'm from in Portsmouth fly over. It was amazing. And then they offered me to fight again. They should have. They offered me to fight again. We went to Texas in August, me and my team, and no, like I proved a lot of people. Although I lost, I took my first loss for a world title eliminator. Um, but like I took him further than anyone else. I cut him in the fight. I won rounds against him. I didn't look at a place at that world level. I had a big jump to fight Virgil, but I didn't look at a place at that level. So that's the level that I want to be at. That's the level I want to be competing at. Um, so who knows where I'll be, but I know I could. Like I've proven I can compete at that world level. So it's just waiting for the opportunities to come again.
Obviously, a lot of people say that you learn a lot more in defeat than winning. Was that the case for you? Do you reckon you learned a lot about yourself that night?
Yeah, I think I think both the US trips that I had last year, in general, I learned loads about boxing, how the setup over there. I learned loads. The Virgil fight in itself, taking that loss, of course, I learned loads. I learned loads about myself. A lot of people learned loads about me too. Like people see that I've got a big heart. People see I've got a world class chin because 22 fights before that, my chin had never been tested. My heart had never been tested to a degree. My chin never been tested. So I learned a lot. A lot of people learned about me as well. And it's only good. Like, I've been a pro. I'm in my ninth year as a pro, I think. So I've been a pro a long time, but I'm still only 28, just but only 28, and I want a long time left in this career. So having the Virgil fight is only gonna benefit me in my career going forward. Um, there's loads of big nights out there for me because I'm proud of what I've done in boxing so far. I'm very proud of what I've done in boxing, but I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied, and I know there's huge nights for me, my team, my supporters, my family ahead. But in the meantime, I want to stay busy overall. I want to stay busy, and that's why I've took this fight in Rome with the Brazilian on a smaller show, on a small show. But it's an investment in myself and my future, definitely, 100%.
Well, Sesson, you mentioned you want to keep busy. Obviously, after the Ortiz fight, we saw you out in Bournemouth at the very back end of 2022.
Yeah.
Back out again now in the middle of March with a win tomorrow night. Do you reckon we'll see you again? Maybe, May, June, around that time.
All these South Americans I'm fighting, Ortiz to Ariarza, South American, to this Brazilian guy, Cavallo, all tough guys. But yeah, if I had it my way, I get the job done tomorrow. I have a few days off, eat some food, a few days, not a few weeks. I mean, eat some food, um, spend a little bit of time with my daughter and my loved ones and stuff, and straight back into camp next week. In the ideal world, I'd love to fight late May, June. Again, but I can't really look past tomorrow. I can't really look past tomorrow, but in the ideal world, I'll get the job done. Then I'll fight again late May, June, and then go on a nice holiday maybe.
So if you'd obviously look for that late May, June date, is that where you want to get back to the level you were at? Like, what are you looking for a
Because
world level opponent, or would you welcome a fight with, let's say, Echo Esserman or someone like that?
yeah, I. It's just still a big jump down from Ortiz. So the comeback fight in December. Granted, I had a comeback fight. I would have preferred Ariarza over more rounds because he is a very, very tough comeback fight, Ariarza. And I didn't have a say. I boxed him over 6 rounds, won. Okay, that's that. This time I'm fighting an unknown Brazilian. That's my two fights after Ortiz. After this, I'm not settling for a 6 or 8 round. I can't. Like in my last 10 fights, 9 of them have been either 10 or 12 rounders. It's just my comeback fight wasn't. So I want to be back at that level. Like I'm sitting at the top domestically in Britain. It's Conor Ben, but he's got a lot of things going on. It's me. I'm UK's number one. So I deserve to be having these big fights. Echo's a good guy. He's never called my name, and that's maybe for a reason. He's never called my name, and that may be for a reason. I believe I am. I'm too good for Echo. Like he's a very good fighter, very fit and stuff like that. I just think I'm too good for him. Domestically is good. Like there's a couple of fights great domestically, but I've got my goals set bigger than domestically. I've tasted what it's like in America. I've tasted what it's like fighting for world title eliminators, and I didn't look out of place. So if the Echo Assuming fight comes about, if the Conor Ben fight comes about, if the even Florian Marku fight comes about, or even Chris Congo again, like because that's a good selling fight. Them four or no one domestically. So I don't lose sleep about not getting the domestic names anymore. I don't. There's names in America and there's world class names rather than domestic class names that I've got my heart set on. But at the moment, it's no point talking about them names because I've got my eyes set on Sergio Dos Santos Carvalho tomorrow night. He looks a very, very fit, very strong guy. Although he's only had 14 pro fights. He looks like he keeps himself in very good nick. He's going to be very proud coming from South America, and he's coming with a high knockout record. So I've got to be on the ball tomorrow night. the people that know Michael Mckinson know that I will fight. The bigger the name, the better, the happier for me. I went to Texas and fought Virgil Ortiz in Texas, so I fear nobody. Um, so I want the bigger the name, the better. Let me get my job done, and then the bigger the name, the better. Because I'm got a good ranking. I'm there. I'm experienced. I've got a little bit of my CV looks good. It looks very colourful. So um, yeah, the phone will ring eventually. But like I said, I didn't want to just sit about, wait months on end without being in camp, without keeping my body healthy, without a fight date. So that's why I'm fighting tomorrow.
Um, so is there anywhere we can watch your fight tomorrow? So like I said, this fight's gone very under the radar to a lot of people. Whereabouts
Yeah,
can we
yeah. Oh,
watch it?
is this going out straight away then? Yeah.
I'm aiming to get this out before your fight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a stream on YouTube called Fighters Live, I think, but I will put it out on my socials regardless. So if people are watching this, add me on Instagram. Is Mikey the Problem? It's streamed on a YouTube stream. I think it's called Fighters Live, but I'll have to double check that. Um, Mate, I might be able to double check right now on my phone because I did get tagged in the link earlier on. Um, Obviously, it's a smaller show in Fighters Life, not Fighters Live. Fighters Life on YouTube. It will be on 9 p.m. English time, 10 p.m. Italian. Yeah, 9 p.m. English time, and keep my comeback trail alive. Keep my comeback trail alive. Like they say, comeback's always greater than the setback. I learned lots last year. But you couldn't be proud on a loss. Great. It was a great experience. I learned a lot, but I can't be proud. And the best is yet to come for me. I wasn't successful. There's a lot more success comes in the future.
So obviously we've discussed the near future. What can we see over the whole year? Obviously, like you said, you want to get out maybe May, June again, and
Yeah.
then have a nice little holiday. So looking forward to the end of 2023, early 2024. What would you like?
3 fights this year. I had 3 fights last year. Happy. 3 fights this year, but after this, the other 3 fights have got to be worth it for me. They've got to be worth it for me. I'm in the important years of my career. 29, 30, 31. See where I am in a couple of years' time, and then we can sort of see where we're at and if I'm happy and stuff like that. But right now is where I want to put the work and stay busy. Um, so yeah, I could be anywhere, but 100% in the future I'll be competing with the world names again, without a doubt.
I think that's a great place to leave it here. Michael, best of luck tomorrow night. Thank you for your time,
Thank you.
and I really appreciate you hopping on tonight. Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Josh. Nice one, mate.
Cheers.